everyone. This time around, I've got a series review for you. Let's talk about the new Netflix show, Stateless. It is a 6-parter that puts the spotlight on a number of different characters who all wind up in the same location, and that's an Australian immigration detention center called Barton. There's Jai Courtney, who's playing Cam. He's a guy who's trying to make a living for his family, so he takes a job as a guard at this facility. There's also Asher Keddy, who plays Claire Cowitz. She becomes the detention center's new manager. And then, being held at this facility, we have Amir, who's played by Faisal Bazi. He winds up there trying to escape Afghanistan with his family. And then, also held in this detention center, is Yvonne Strahovski's Sophie. She's an Australian citizen who winds up trapped in Barton. They are the leads of this ensemble, no doubt, and they're all excellent, but it's also well worth pointing out that many additional members of this cast make a huge, indelible impression, even with more limited screen time than them. They're not just there as supporting pieces to boost the lead character's stories. They do that, but they're also very full individuals with a wild amount of personal drive on their own. Strahovski, though, is probably, I would say, the showstopper of the bunch here. It does feel like Sophie's Journey frames the overall narrative of Stateless the most, and her story is just so shatteringly complex. Her character is based on the true story of an Australian citizen who had a mental illness and wound up in a detention center. And Stateless creators Cate Blanchett, Tony Ayres, and Elise McCredie just handle her depiction in the show with such nuance. And then you've got Strahovski's deeply internal performance that's just bubbling over with heartbreak and emotion. You can't take your eyes off of her, but it's also painful to watch what she's subjected to at the hands of others. And I also found that Sophie's story winds up pairing especially well with a character like Amir, a refugee desperately looking for a safe place to build a life for his family. You might start Stateless thinking, how could something like this possibly happen to a white woman who was a legal resident of Australia? The intense level of curiosity that's sparked by seeing someone wind up in such a detention center who doesn't fit the mold of how you might assume that kind of process goes, it just kind of obliterates any distance, any safe distance you might be able to feel from this awful reality. And then once those barriers are broken down, the characters are so well drawn across the board, like Amir, that you wind up with a pretty overwhelming amount of access to their mistreatment here. And there are also so many sides that are very well represented here that it makes the undeniable truth of the situation even more devastating. Let's take Jai Courtney's character, Cam, for instance. And I will say that might be one of my favorite performances of Jai Courtney's ever. He's a good guy, just trying to get his wife and kids a nice home. And that pressure that comes with that is something that's very easy to identify with. Having this security job makes a big difference for his family, but then being able to feel the stress that he's under when deciding whether or not to do the right thing and put this job at risk, it further shows how fragile and corrupt the whole system is. I'm going to give Stateless 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. Honestly, I do feel ashamed admitting this, but I might not be exposed to certain truths about our world without films and shows like this. The writers of Stateless use a headline-making anomaly to build awareness for a much bigger problem, and they do so with such great respect, heart, and urgency. Stateless is vital viewing in my book, so go check it out, and when you do, hit that comment section below and tell me what you think about it. Before I say goodbye to you guys right now, we've got some Patreon shoutouts to give. We've got 6 of them here, and they are Iman, Tabitha, Craig, Paul, Andrew, and Corey, all longtime Patreon supporters right there. So guys, thank you so much for your support this month and also for sticking with it. It really does make a difference. Thanks to everybody out there who watched this review. Please do not forget to check out Stateless on Netflix. And also before you go, like and share this video, and I'll have more TV and movie reviews coming your way real soon.